Run out of breath, point them out, make them live what they rap. Big cap niggas ain't living like that. Do the most, get too close, you a ghost. Dope is the dope, you get more than a dose. Give all that I got till it ain't nothing left. I don't need no help, I could do it myself. I'm really a chef, cook it right out of left. Run up a check till I run out of breath. Point them out, make them live what they rap. Big cap niggas ain't living like that. Do the most, get too close, you a ghost. Dope is the dope, you get more than a dose. Give all that I got till it ain't nothing left. I don't need no help, I could do it myself.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Wick Made 912 back in your area, back with another one. Because we know this wasn't the first time that these people have used excessive force when it comes dealing with the citizens, you know, whether you white, black, purple, or green. So when it comes to this guy, Demetrius Haley, he's had, number of run-ins where he's been excessive, including the other story that y'all probably caught on one of my other lives. If you have never caught one of my lives, make sure you drop in on one of my lives. I'm gonna go more into detail about this situation.
Fired Memphis cops in the Nichols case faced previous accusations of excessive force while working as a guard for Shelby County's Division of Corrections. In a federal complaint filed in 2016, Demetrius Haley is accused of punching an inmate in the face, slamming his face into a sink, and throwing him to the floor. The complaint goes on to say the inmate woke up the corrections medical unit. However, the suit was dismissed by a federal judge a couple of years later, 2 years in fact before Haley got his badge with the Memphis PD.
His run-ins with excessive force. That was before he even got on the Memphis police. Like I said, y'all show on my live, I'll show a couple of videos. But this is a video in particular that I want to go over. It's a young lady, this young lady that's on the thumbnail. She tells a story about how she was harassed by, I don't know if it was the Scorpion unit, but it definitely was this officer who used the excessive force on it. There was also a female cop that was in assistance of him, and she has now resigned. And this is the way that these cops are being able to get away without accountability. They'll just resign, they'll go to another city, and then next thing you know, they're doing the same thing on another police force. It's not on their record. This is how they're getting away with murder, literally. This is how the chief of police that's over this Memphis unit, this is how she's in the place that she's in right now. She was part of the Red Dot unit that was in Atlanta that killed a 92-year-old woman in a Breonna Taylor type style. And then she took her services on and she covered up a child pornographic ring that a officer of hers had. She covered for it, and then she just went on to the next city after she resigned, after everything got brushed under the rug. And then you go to another city, you start up another gang unit, they kill another innocent man, and then you resign again and go off to the next city. These cops are just shuffling around. But I don't want to get on too much of a ramble about that. Let me let y'all see this, and I'll come back and commentate at the end of it.
A woman is telling us tonight she tried to warn the Memphis Police Department about an officer now charged.
Fair use, fair use.
WRED investigative Jessica Gertler has her story and uncovers a loophole that may have kept the case from being sent to the district attorney's office for review.
The evening of February 21st, 2021, Memphis police got a call. There was a shooting at the Walgreens on 9th Arnold. Teacher Towns and her aunt were there.
We was returning a red box and we was getting another red box.
She says they were about to leave when a male officer approached her, asking if she heard gunfire.
I told him no, and he told us we could go ahead and leave.
As she put the car into reverse, a female officer stopped her. Her aunt hit record on her cell phone.
Oh my God, y'all, we were getting a red box.
Where's your ID?
Getting a red box, y'all.
Where's your ID?
Why you need my? What I do? She wouldn't tell me what I did. She was just telling me to get out. Why would I? What are you doing? She proceeded to stick her hand in my car, unlock my door, and kind of arm wrestle me.
Two male officers each grabbed her arms, then put her into handcuffs.
I'm crying out like dislocated my shoulder. He just telling me, stop resisting. I'm like, I'm not resisting. I'm trying to tell, because he looked at the video, my hands behind.
Now, like here, you have several officers, and they haven't told this woman what she has done. Only thing she did is say, hey, I'm getting a red box. I'm minding my business. And this is how people get abused. This is how people get shot on accident. This is how, like, this is not respect of the people in the community. This is a person abusing their power. And see, when stuff like this go unchecked, this is how we have the problems that we have in our community.
Officers then approached her aunt and the video ends. Town says officers put her into...
And see, they want to go at her aunt for recording it. And you see, they went at her aunt and probably took that phone. Now her aunt is going to jail also.
The squad car. She says she demanded they take her to the emergency room for her shoulder pain. Her family followed the squad car, so the officer pulled over and got out.
And drew a gun at my brother and my aunt.
Now the officer stopped the family from following them to the hospital. The officer stopped the family from following the woman to the hospital after they've been rough with her and she feel like they dislocated her arm and she's demanding medical attention. And guess who that officer was that stopped that car and pulled a gun out on her brother and her aunt for trying to show concern to their loved one.
Says they took her aunt into custody while they took her to the hospital and then to jail. She said she never faced any charges. She said she did give a statement to MPD's internal affairs, but never knew what came of the case until last month.
She saw the mugshots of the now former Memphis police officers charged in Tyree Nichols' death. One of them, Demetrius Haley, the officer who put her into handcuffs that night.
Wow. So she put in a complaint months ago about the officer that put her in the cuffs, about them pulling over and pulling the gun on her loved ones, the people who weren't under arrest, and you never even charged her with anything. You pretty much just made this inconvenient day over what? Oh, I'm gonna show y'all what it was about.
Were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised because how they did me at Walgreens.
Towns' incident was in Haley's disciplinary file WREG investigators uncovered. He was written up in Towns' case, not for using force, but for not filling out the proper paperwork to alert his supervisors that force was used.
So of course you would not be written up for using force if you don't even put in the paperwork that you use force. Now you knew exactly what you did when you arrested her. If you did the right thing, why wouldn't you put that in the paperwork? Why would you leave that out? But I guess when you know you're doing wrong, you would leave that out. But the other officers that were there, they didn't do anything. They didn't say, hey, that's not what happened. They didn't report it either. So they're just as guilty. I don't want to hear all that, oh, well, there's some good cops back now. Them good cops, y'all see them bad cops. See something, say something. That's what you tell us.
Haley told Internal Affairs he did not know why they were handcuffing Towns, and the officer who helped him was not familiar with why she was pulled over in the first place.
Now, here you got a woman cop coming here to deal with this woman, and here y'all treating her like a criminal, and you don't even know why you coming here to even mess with the woman. That's just like those officers that pulled up on Tyree. They don't know why they beat him. Like, oh, y'all beating up on somebody? Hey, let me join in. This is ridiculous. And here it is, you got a male trying to help another female cop arrest a woman that she don't even know why she arresting her. Going to jail and all this stuff, they just paying money to get out of jail and all this stuff, and for what? No charges filed. Why? Because you know you did something wrong. You don't even put in your police report that you use excessive force. So when somebody complain about excessive force, now they got to go down this rabbit hole. And y'all know y'all had this line officer on your force. He already was using excessive force before he even got there.
A lieutenant did say Haley routinely makes good decisions, and he was sure this was a limited event.
How is that when he had excessive force before he even got there? There's more stories that are going to come out.
The female officer, Alexis Brown, said while investigating the shooting call, she saw Towns laughing in her car, so she initiated the traffic stop.
So you initiate a traffic stop because you see a black woman laughing in her car and you on a serious call. We understand that. But how is this woman supposed to know what your call is all about? Because you see a woman laughing in the car. This is police work, y'all. This is how people are getting hurt, killed, and all that. These are the people they have come out. And what will happen when she does all that stuff? Should she be charged with a false arrest? Yes, she should. That way she don't go somewhere else and do these false arrests and arrest the people because they laughing in their car. But nah, let's see what happens to her.
And that Towns became verbally and passively resistant.
Of course she gonna become verbally and passively resistant when you're trying to arrest me for not doing anything. We as citizens have the right to not be unlawfully arrested. And I think the police tend to forget that. Then they'll call it verbally and passively resistant. Stop resisting. Stop trying to false imprison me.
She put Towns into her squad car for investigative detention.
Investigative detention. That sounds like something. That sounds like ISS in middle school. Investigative detention. What are you investigating? You're investigating the shooting. Somebody just started shooting, and here you is bothering a lady that's trying to get her a red box and trying to live her best life. Just because she over there laughing, having a good time in her own world, trying to go Netflix and chill, instead of you going after the person that's shooting, you just going after this woman sitting here. The person that's going to jail, not the person that's shooting. That's why killings going on. Because you over here bothering with people at the red box instead of chasing the criminals.
Also claiming she found marijuana in the car but disposed of it. Internal Affairs says,
yeah, you disposed of it, all right. So you found it necessary to take people to jail for laughing, but you ain't want to add on the marijuana that you supposedly found.
Brown violated a number of policies, including excessive force. She resigned before her disciplinary hearing.
Exactly. Before her disciplinary hearing, she resigned. She was not charged with assault. She was not charged with false imprisonment. She wasn't charged with making a false police report. No real consequences. Now she can resign and then go to Georgia, go to Florida, and say, hey, we had a little discrepancy. I resigned 5 years ago. That's behind me. I went to counseling. Bam, she back out there making stupid decisions like this. But does that give that person back their life? That person had to bond out of jail. That person had their whole life derailed in a moment of the negligence of just the chain of command. This man ain't just started doing this. Y'all could have saved her life. This man initiated that stop on Tyree Nichols because of his own personal grudges, his own ego, his own violent nature. Y'all could have saved her life.
For them to give her time to quit on her own, like, it wasn't fair at all.
Town says what's also not fair, her case was never turned over to the Shelby County District Attorney's Office for review to see if any of the officers did anything criminally wrong. See,
Exactly. Now they don't want to even know if you did anything wrong. They don't even want to know if you did anything wrong. Never got turned over. She can get no justice. So it's bigger than just the cops. It's the shield of the blue. No accountability.
After her incident, the then DA and the former police director created a new policy. All cases of excessive force that result in disciplinary action would be sent to the DA's office for review. Again, the officer quit before she was disciplined for violating the excessive force policy.
Now, it's good that they did put that into play because they probably realized that too. They should send it to the DA office before they let somebody just quit and run off. Because, see, that's been the policy, and that's what a lot of the officers have been noticing. So that's what they'll do. They'll just run off and resign instead of facing the real music.
Policy. We asked MPD if that's why the case was never sent to the DA. We have yet to hear back.
It's not right. It should be another system, a better system.
To this day, Towns doesn't know why she was forced out of her car and into handcuffs.
And we still don't know what we did. We still don't know what we did.
Just like Tyree Nichols. He didn't know what he did. He kept asking, what did I do? What did I do? You never told the man what he did. But then say he resisted and give you a reason to violate all his civil rights. The same way you did this lady here. You pull her over, and just because she realized, just because she's trying to tell you she didn't do anything, you violate her rights even more by saying she's resisting to not doing anything. You pull this woman out the car because you said she was laughing. Abuse this woman, humiliate her family, pull out a gun, put her brother and her aunt at risk of losing their life, abusing your power, and y'all knew of all this. Y'all knew of all this. Yeah, he might have not told y'all about that, his excessive force, but I guess nobody told y'all about him pulling the gun on her brother and her aunt. Y'all knew about that. Y'all could have saved Tyree Nichols' life if y'all could have reacted to any of these things that keep coming forth about this officer. So a lot of this stuff could have been prevented. Because, yeah, there's also more. There's also more that will come. But for right now, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button.
Big cat like a mixed fiesta. Dope on the scale, you won't get no extra this way. Make her do what the money say. Tell your old man he don't want it, babe. I just bought a new stick the other day. Put dope on the stove or microwave. The neighbors don't like the J, they keep calling. Come on, I'ma keep serving the dumb and defy the ranks. Shit smell like fungus. No Q and not just the city. Fuck up my business, I'm just being honest. Keep dealers and killers a mummy. Wrap your ass up like a mummy. Stab that little white hood and dip on her. I feel like OJ, little homie.